All right, guys. Sorry about that. That was actually uh, an army buddy of mine. We're getting together, so we're making plans, man. So I had to take the call, but as I was, so I don't even know where. I know I was talking. I was talking about getting back from my second tour and trying to better myself and looking into the manosphere and looking into like all the red pill and the MGTOW. I mean, you guys have heard it. I'm sure you guys have heard it. If you haven't, I'm not gonna say it's all bad information. There's some good information too, but there's just a lot of crap. And the reason why I know this is because the guys that come on, I'm like, dude, there's no way. There's just absolutely no way. These guys, some of these guys have any, credibility, And the only thing that I can tell you is I think younger guys are looking for that, they're looking to be tried. They're looking to be tested, right? So a long time ago, you literally had to do that when you came of age, So how do men do that in our generation or the generations before us? They're like, what do they say? I mean, you see it in movies all the time. I went to war or I joined the military because they're going to make a man out of me, or it's going to make a man out of me. So that's what they do. The World War One, World War II generation, Korea, Vietnam, and today. Right? Men want to know. They want to know that when it comes down to it, are they going to have the guts? Or how are they going to be? How are they going to react? How are they going to react in combat? They want to know. Men want to know that. So if men don't have that and they've never been tested, they have that energy, that I think it's almost like an insecurity. So that's why you see guys like, getting in fights at bars and just doing things they shouldn't be doing, getting into car wrecks, just doing things that are reckless, right? So, my answer to you guys is, if you don't want to join the military, you don't have to join the military, But that's why I've been promoting, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu so heavily, because it's such a challenging martial arts, because you're truly being tested all the time, because you're actually sparring with guys every day, and for the most part, if you're a beginner, you're getting crushed. I mean, you're getting crushed all the time, So in the jiu-jitsu world, they talk about, the blue belt blues, which means you get your blue belt and then you quit. So, the reason why that happens is because, men, it's hard. It's hard getting your ass kicked all the time. Even my son, who's a high-level jiu-jitsu guy, man, he's high level. He's 25 years old. He thought, I've interviewed him, he thought about quitting at one point because he was getting his ass kicked, So who wants to get their ass kicked? Nobody. But, it's like humble pie, man. You take that humble pie and it makes you stronger, right? It makes you stronger. It makes you grow. It toughens you up, It makes you accept yourself, right? So I would advise you young men, do that. Do that. You don't have to join the military, but I'm telling you guys, I'm not doing this for, I'm doing this, I'm really doing this because I want to help you guys, and I'm just tired of seeing this crap on out there that's just not, it just gives a bad impression of men, it's like, that's not the kind of man that I want to be. That's not who I want to be. So I would say, as far as that goes, learn how to protect yourself, man. by doing jiu-jitsu, right? Um, what are other ways that you can improve yourself, right? Because a lot of the manosphere has a lot to do with like women, women and men trying to pick up women, how to get women, right? How to get them. And like I said, I found to be a lot of the stuff just very manipulative, man. It's just like a lot of kind of like touching on women's emotions and not really being authentic. You know what I'm saying? Just saying, it's almost like you're saying the right things, but it's not within you, right? So, to give you guys a little bit of kind of context of where I'm coming from with this is, I was in I did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and then I spent some time in Central America, and I spent some time training a lot of forces in Central America with the Army. Got to work with the police, got to work with the military, got to work with some commandos. They're called Caibil, and they're Guatemalan commandos, and they're just badass, just absolutely badass. And got to work with some operators too. That was pretty cool. So, man, I was in charge of like a company size element. It's probably about 100 people, men and women, and it was just we were kind of running like a basic training type thing, we were kind of training them to American standards of military, as far as PT, formation, and just discipline, bearing, all that stuff, and I found myself to be the cadre, one of the guys in charge, and I just gotten my stripes. I just gotten promoted to sergeant. So listen, man, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do this and try to do it to the best of my ability. But I noticed a lot of these guys kept watching me all the time, man. They were watching me all the time, made me nervous. So that's how I ended up in this like manosphere, because I got into like the whole psychology, the whole pickup, charisma, and all that stuff. And believe it or not, man, you're doing the same, almost like sort of the same theatrics when you're training people, because basically you're promoting yourself as this, just unstoppable machine that's, a trainer, like a leader, so you want people to see you, and they're already seeing you that ways, So you have to hold yourself to that standard, man. So I always thought about it like, man, these guys want to see an American soldier, so I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, man, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for a standard, so, but it was really, like I said, one of those eye-opening moments where I was like, man, I just want to try to be the best for these people, and I don't want to let them down. That's what I really thought. I don't want to let these people down. And we were there for about 3 months, so man, I got really close to these people. Because a lot of times they don't really have anything, they're very poor. I mean, they didn't even give them water to like train, man. Like if they were, which is for us in the American military, I mean, that's mandatory, man, like we always have water, even if we're in some, when I was in Afghanistan, if we were in some shithole, if anything, we had water, But man, just whatever, man, just an incredible experience. Just I saw a lot of poverty, man, just like I did in Afghanistan. But like I said, my point is that I got into like psychology, man. I really got heavy into psychology because of that, because I wanted to be a better leader, so I wanted to try to figure out try to figure people out and just look into leadership concepts, because you're constantly being taught in the military about leadership, and like I said before, you see good, you see bad, and you got to take, obviously you take the good, but you've seen the bad, you've seen both. So man, I looked into this pickup stuff, and some of it, like I said, it was, I don't know, man, some of it was good, some of it was bad. It was I don't know if you guys have heard of this guy, this mystery guy. You guys probably want to look into him. He's kind of like almost like a pioneer of like the modern seduction stuff. And then you look into like RSD. I mean, if you guys don't know it, I'm sure some of you guys will know who I'm talking about. You know, looked into like James Marshall and Sasha Day game, and they all had their different, like it was a different strategy. You know, I think the mystery was more manipulative. You know. And so was the RSD. I mean, to me, this is just an opinion. I mean, you take it how you want to take it. Just an opinion. So yeah, I just didn't. I really didn't like that. And but whatever. There were some half truths to some of this stuff, and some stuff was good, and some stuff was like, nah, that's not right. Just by my own experience as an older guy, you know. So whatever, man. Let's just put that aside. And this is what I'm gonna tell you. This is what I think about it, guys. If you guys want to talk about, let's say, how do I build a better personality, and you're a shy guy, what you need to do is you need to work on what they called hired guns. So it's like let's say a cashier or somebody or a server, right? So if you're shy, you can talk to them. If you have a server, you can talk to them. And believe it or not, if you try to have conversation with regular people all the time, especially those people which have to talk to you, right? If you're shy, do that. Try to work on those people. If you're that shy, right? If you're, let's say, a little bit more advanced and you want to be better, not just at picking up women, but just being more charismatic, I'm going to tell you that what you need to do is you need to go out, and you need to go out by yourself, and you need to feel rejection. You need to feel the pain, because just like everything else, if you do it and you keep doing it, you're going to get better, you know? It's like practice. So what I will tell you is the reason why guys, especially if we're going to just talk about like the seduction community, if you're trying to talk to women, men don't talk to women or don't approach women because they're scared of rejection. Okay? But at the end of the day, who cares? It's all in how you look at it, right? If you try to approach somebody, if you try to approach a woman and she tells you to whatever, she's not interested, well, then you go to the next one. And if she says the same thing, you go to the next one. And so on and so forth, right? And eventually you're gonna pick it up, right? You're gonna pick it up. So it's like, I think the biggest problem is that men, and it's not, you don't have to be a genius to figure this stuff out. People who wants to get rejected, right? Because in our own minds, we're all cool, right? Till you have to confront that. Till you have to confront the fact that maybe you're not so good with people, and maybe you need to work on that, right? But work on it. Work on it. I noticed, especially now with computers, man, you have a lot of social justice warriors or people that they talk of a good game online, but I mean, you could study all these guys all day long, but at the end of the day, if you don't do it yourself, and you go out there and you take a chance, and it's like I said, it's not just about picking up women, but just being the man that you want to be. It's like if you want to be an interesting person, not just to women, but just to anybody, well, then do interesting things, right? Don't sit at home playing fucking Xbox and expect to go out and crush life. I mean, give me a break, So I'm purely doing this to help the young men out there that are like, you know, they're unsure of themselves and don't know what to do, don't know who to look for guidance. And if you just want to work on your charisma, just on your charisma, just that, right? I would honestly look at this guy, man. He's kind of silly, but man, there's so much truth in what he says, man. And his name is Sasha Daygame. You may want to look at the older stuff that he was doing, and basically, it's just his whole theory is just approaching women. You know, just talk to them, let them know, be honest with them. They know you want to talk to them, right? But look at it for yourself. You know, it's called, his name is Sasha Daygame, and it's basically called Daygame, which basically what he's doing is he's going out wherever, and he's basically like, you know, approaching women. But he's a comedian, so he makes them laugh, man. So, and he's just a funny dude, man. So it's kind of like intoxicating, you know. So that's how he does it, right? I mean, I've heard some guys use like photography. They take a camera and act like they're like whatever photographers, and that's how they kind of like start up conversations and whatever. Do that too if you want. I don't know. But I'm telling you that like the more the natural way of doing it. And like I said, it's not just for that. It's just for if you want to be more charismatic, man. You got to talk to people, man. I think even especially now, it's so different because they're on the phone all the time. It's like, when was the last time somebody actually picked up a phone and just started talking on the phone? You know, everything is through your phone, you know. So I mean, man, I work a lot, and I make it a point to try to go out at least once or twice a week, because in my business, man, it's all about relationships, you know? It's all about how you talk to people, man. Can you sell yourself to people, you know? So I do a lot of business like that, man. Just talking to people, you know, creating conversations, you know, just going out. And listen, man, like I said, I go out by myself, you know? I just go out by myself, and I try to, you know, I just talk to people, man. Most people are pretty positive, but whatever, man. You're gonna run into weirdos, but it's gonna make you grow as a person, you know. Because we're, you know, at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for like, you know, self growth. I would like to think most people are trying to be better, man. So like I said, you know, this is why I started this podcast, for all you young men out there that are looking for answers, man. I'm not looking for I'm not looking for money, dude. Like I said, man, I have a business. I do okay for myself. I really want to do it for you guys, because I'm sick and tired of looking at all this crap that I see on YouTube, and these guys are full of shit. Okay? So I'm not saying that all of it is wrong, but a lot of it is wrong, you know? Character is character, man. And when you are authentic to yourself, you will project that onto other people, man. People will feel it, you know, because it's real. So try to go out there, man. Try to live an interesting life if you want people to find you interesting, you know? If you sit around all day watching television, I mean, how is that interesting, man? I mean, how is that interesting? And get that you know, I always hear that thing, well, you know, I'm too short, or I'm not rich enough, or any excuse that you have. You need to get that out of your head. That's in your head. That's only in your head. So if you believe that, if you believe that you're too short to go out and talk to women that are taller than you, well, that's your problem. That's not their problem. That's your issue. Get over that, man. I see plenty of goofy guys that are like whatever, man. They just live life and enjoy it, and they don't let that get in the way. It's all in how you perceive it, man. The whole world is basically, I think it's just a matrix, and I always found good leadership intoxicating. And I looked up to a lot of guys, and I saw them perform, and I was like, man, I want to be like those guys, man. Like, they just like ooze out leadership, man, and it comes in all packages, guys. I've seen guys that looked the part, and they weren't worth a crap. And I've seen guys in my military career that didn't look the part, and then when stuff really, really got serious, man, they stepped up, man, and they shocked everybody. So I don't fall into those perceptions of, he's, whatever, I don't know, 6'2", 250 pounds, and this guy's whatever. He may be he may be an animal, or he may not be. Sometimes you really can't tell. You can't. Sometimes they may look the part, but they're not. I've seen it with my own eyes. So, like I said too, like this is observations for me, man. When I see you guys go out, man. I see you guys wearing like a t-shirt and like whatever, man, tennis shoes. So it's like, okay, you're gonna go out there, you want to try to meet interesting people, and you look like a 12-year-old. It's like, man, can you take like a little pride in dressing yourself? I'm not saying you have to be metro, but Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I see it all the time. It's like I see older guys that dress with like, Jordans and I don't know, man. They just look like teenagers. It's like, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. You wear what you need to wear, what you think you need to wear, but me personally, I like to wear suits when I go out. I like to wear fine suits. So, but that's just me. I'm 47. You don't have to wear a suit, but man, I mean, can you get like you could wear a sports jacket. You want to kind of almost falls into like what these guys used to talk about, peacocking. But I mean, these guys are wearing like fucking goggles and I don't know, a beret or a really loud shirt. I mean, just something ridiculous. Like, you're gonna stand out, but are you gonna stand out for the right reasons? Like, no. You're gonna look like an idiot, right? So, and I mean, hey, listen, man, I've seen some guys wear some ridiculous stuff and it works for them. So, okay, that's good too. I guess that's good too, but I mean, if you want to stand out, at least listen, you don't have to be a millionaire to have a nice sports jacket or a nice dress-up shirt. At least a nice dress-up shirt, right? A nice watch. Can you try to look like a grown adult, right? Because if not, you're really not going to stand out. You're going to look like every other guy out there, right? So, yeah, man, this is just like I said, I've just been thinking about this for a long time of doing this podcast, and I just was watching this stuff, man, and I was like, what are you talking about, man? What are you guys talking about? Like, why are you guys giving this information out to these young, impressionable kids, man? They're going to actually believe that it's true. So, what else can I say about that? So yeah, man, just work on yourself. Work on yourself, man. If you want people to find you interesting, well, like I said, man, do interesting things. Keep a job. Try to get an education. We have phones now, so listen, you can look at porn all day, or maybe you could look at a good lecture, huh? You could look at I like to listen to Dr. Thomas Sowell a lot. He's an economist, Milton Friedman. Super smart guys, man. And a lot of the stuff that they were talking about, like in the 70s, A lot of guys like Jordan Peterson and a lot of other people are talking about it now, you know. And as far as alpha and, you know, beta and all that stuff, I hear a lot of that stuff too. And if I were to say what makes an alpha is, or let's say a leader, what makes a good leader, what makes a good man is somebody that, if people are going one direction, which most people do, I would probably say go the other way, because people tend to have that sheep mentality, you know. They need to kind of like, they follow the herd, right? So don't do that. Find the right mentors. If you're looking for a good mentor, like I said, you can you can join the military, or B, you can start doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I'm not gonna shit on the other martial arts. You can do that too, but me, what I think you should do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You know, you need some humble pie. Start working out too. You know, start lifting weights. Be in shape, right? Be in shape. Especially now, man, with this COVID-19 stuff, man. A lot of stuff that people are dying are people that have, I've talked about this earlier, hypertension, diabetic, whatever. Unhealthy. Don't be unhealthy, man. Go to the gym, do something, right? So, I think I've covered as much as I can for right now. I'm trying to give you guys bits and pieces of what I'm trying to do for this podcast. I'm gonna have a lot more guests. I'm gonna have I already have a schedule with a police officer, a guy in a band, Georgia Red Clay. They're like a local band here in Georgia. I already have that schedule. I have a Brazilian guy coming in next week. I got another jiu-jitsu guy, a brown belt, coming in. I think Sunday, or one of those days. Wednesday, I think. Whatever. I'm having guests, but this is more of like a self reflection type episode, where I'm kind of like, it's what I'm thinking about, what's in my mind. And then I'm pushing it out to you guys. And hopefully you guys can find it useful, man. Find it useful. And if you have any kind of questions, man, I would love to help you guys out. Just give you guidance. You don't have to give me any money. I'm not asking for none of that. I just want to help you guys out, So, yeah, man, there it is. I'm gonna give you guys some more stuff, just like, so you can take it in like little by little, and hopefully start using it, man. Start putting it to practice, But like I said, what we learned today, as far as if you want to learn about charisma and you're super shy, if you're a really shy guy, and you want to get out of your shell, trust me, man. Do that. Start with that. If you go to the grocery store, even if you would just say hello to a cashier or just something very basic, start with that, right? Just start with that. They're called hired guns. So they have to talk to you, right? They can't reject you, right? So if you're like that kind of a person that's super, super shy, that's going to help. That's going to help a bunch, and it may take a while, but it's okay, man. If it takes a while, it takes a while, But you got to start somewhere, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, man. One bite at a time. So if it's growth, even if it takes weeks, it's growth, man. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it if you're slower than everybody else. But at least work on charisma. Work on your personality, man. Try to be interesting, right? That's one way to start. You know, when I was in Guatemala, man, I had all these guys were watching me all the time. So I was very, it just kind of it freaked me out at first, and that's why I got into psychology. You know. So, you know, as far as too with people, be honest with yourself, and don't fall into this like nice guy perspective. You know, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. If you're talking to somebody, if you're talking to a woman, and don't be that nice guy and be agreeable, because who wants to be with an agreeable prick? I mean, you know, it's like, no, you have your own opinions, and if you disagree, right? It's not gonna make you less likable. It's just gonna it's gonna show people that you have a pair of balls, and you're willing to not be agreeable. Don't be agreeable if you disagree with something. You know, it's okay. It's all right. You know, it's part of being a man, right? Don't fall into like, I'm gonna be Mr. Nice Guy, because at the end of the day, nobody likes a fucking nice guy. You know, I mean, I don't know. Just be yourself. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Be yourself. So that's it, guys. More to come. More information to push out. But, you know, I finally done it. I finally gonna start doing this podcast for you guys. That's why it's called For the Old Breed. Because I'm looking back at my grandpa's generation, the greatest generation. And if I can be half the man my grandfather was, and I'll be okay. I'll be alright. So that's it, folks. More to come. This is Frank for the Old Breed. I'm checking out. Have a good day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay? Goodbye.